Hey, welcome back to the channel. Alright, so today's topic, I've been making a lot of videos lately, getting a little bit bored and back into the gun hobby. Love the gun hobby. Alright, and for those of you who can't get enough of the gun hobby like me, I am going to put my Facebook gun group below, and while you're there you can shoot that like button. Anywho, let's get these guns out so that you got something to look at other than my beautiful face. Uh, and this is one of those Rock Island Armory, trying to get just the right lighting here. Rock Island Armory 22 TCM 1911. And this is double stacked. But anyways, what I wanted to talk about is, here's a question for you. How did you get into guns? What got you started on the hobby? Were you always into guns? Did you grow up with guns? Was your dad a hunter? Your mom a hunter? Was it like a family of hunters and fishermen and stuff? Or did you get into self-defense or is it all about protecting a home? What's your story? And I'll talk about mine in a minute here. This is that NAA Sidewinder. And a Sidewinder is kind of interesting because it pops out to the side there. This is a 22, and it also has 22 Magnum cylinder. You just unscrew this right here, and you can actually change out the cylinders from 22, which is long rifle or shorts, or you can do the 22 Magnum cylinder, whichever one you want. The weak point of this gun, and I did change the grips. These are the Black Widow grips, but it comes with much smaller grips. It's called the Sidewinder model. These cost a lot for what you get, but I mean, it's kind of cool, a little novelty. Anyways, what happened to me was, and I don't want to get into all the details, but a certain person that really don't want to have anything to do with at all. But, people like to stir up stuff, lie, whatever. And this individual was at my door, which I ended up having the police remove them. But I realized, okay, and wasn't looking to fight this person or anything, but I realized that I didn't have anything in here to protect myself if I need to. I didn't have a gun. I didn't have nothing for home defense. I found a hammer. That was the extent of it. So I decided I wanted to get a firearm because you just never know what you might run into. And I'm going to tell you, I grew up with BB guns, and me and my friends, we'd all get together and be like, hey man, like 16 or whatever, get your dad's gun or whatever. And I lived out in the woodland property. This is the Judge, in case you don't know, some special fun grips on it. 6-inch barrel, 410 or 45 long Colt. It doesn't hold that many, only holds 5. Back to the story. Or the story I was talking about. So we'd get guns and go camping and go walking in the woods or whatever, but not really shooting anything. But anyways, I was always for gun rights. Whether I didn't have a gun, I didn't feel like I needed a gun my whole life until that incident. But it didn't mean that I wasn't ready to stand up for somebody else's rights. I never felt like, people shouldn't have a specific gun or whatever. I did, before I ever got really that into guns, I did study up on the AR-15 because I couldn't figure out, why people were telling me the AR-15 is the worst thing because it needs to be banned because all the mass shooters pick it. Well, I wonder why they pick it. And I started learning, hey, it's the most modifiable gun. It's kind of cool. It didn't make me want one, but I started off my first gun. This is a Rhino, for anyone who is wondering, 357 or 38 Special. And it has fully adjustable rear sights. And I got form rifle grips. This is the 60s model. Whoops. And it's the gold. I don't know if you can tell with this lighting. It might look like stainless steel, but no, it's the gold. It was a very hard one to get my hands on. Anyways, what was I talking about? Oh, I started off with the Ruger LCP. Well, it wasn't the first time I shot a handgun though. because we'd always have rifles when I was a kid, but we never had any. Speaking of rifles, oh yeah, this is what I'm talking about right here. We got that AK. Any AK fans out there? Um, I never shot a handgun until I was actually got my own. So I didn't know how to work it or anything. I mean, I could have worked this rifle easier probably. But yeah, this is the PSA, the Palmetto Armory AK. But it's got special. This is not the stock furniture on it. I got this furniture and I did the the die myself, but you can't probably see it very good with this horrible lighting and horrible camera. It's just a phone camera. That's all it is. Nothing special. I'm not running some big channel here. That's why I need you to like and subscribe. Anyways, I got the LCP. Oh yeah, I was gonna say I had some friends, come with me as an adult and bring a 9mm, and of course this isn't a 9mm, but I just wanted to hold a big gun in my hand, a full size gun, 9mm, and a 22 and a shotgun. And we're tough guys, and we didn't put in the earplugs or anything. I'm shooting a 9mm, and my ears start ringing. I'm thinking this is too much gun. So when I got my first gun was LCP, and I wanted to try a 9mm because people were telling me, hey, you get a big full size gun in 9mm, it's not going to have that much kick like that little I don't have it anymore, but the little LCP, not LCR, but LCP seemed like it for a 380, man. It was really had a lot of kick. So the guy at Cabela's told me, go ahead, try 9mm. Trust me, you can handle it. And I got that Taurus G2C. I wasn't looking to spend, $600 on a gun. To me, that was insane. Just imagine what I spent for this. Whew. But things change, right? You kind of get in love with this hobby. I don't know how it happens. But once I tried that 9mm, that G2C by Taurus, I was hooked. I was so hooked. I just loved the feeling of shooting that 9mm, that Taurus. It just felt so good in my hand, and it wasn't hurting my hand. It didn't have that much kick, but it did have the more power, and that was it, man. After that, I just wanted to try everything. I wanted to try this. I thought the coolest thing in the world, because you shouldn't be able to have it, right? A 410 shotgun, call it a shotgun, 410 revolver that you can carry with you. That's crazy, isn't it? You gotta have it because it's just wrong. Or is it a gimmick? You decide. God, a 357 Magnum that you could carry with you, and it looks cool, right? I just wanted to try everything, and that's what got me sucked in. And finally, getting the long guns was the last thing I did. It was not, some people maybe that's the first thing they did, but I don't know. What's your story? Let me know if you could summarize it, down below. I'll read it. I will read it if you write it. I'm really curious to how other people got involved. You'd think that I'd have been involved being, growing up with the woods behind me, with, the BB guns, and me and my friends getting our parents' guns and going out there and camping and fishing all the time. You'd think I'd have got into it, but maybe that's why I didn't feel like I needed to as an adult. I don't know. I always kind of wanted a gun, but I just didn't want to spend the money. To me, it was just like a novelty. I guess if they were cheaper, if you could get a gun like this for $50, I probably would have went ahead and got one. But whenever I did end up at, say, a gun show or something, which the only reason I even end up at a gun show is because there'd be one going on down at the flea market. I'm at the flea market for computer parts or whatever. I'm like, oh, look, they got a gun show. Let's go check it out. And I'd see, I always kind of wanted, I don't know, too many video games or something. A pair of guns that look the same, one for each hand. It's so cool. And then in real life, I find out I can't, I'm not that accurate. I need two hands just to even get it on paper. So, but I would find something I thought was just right, like a 32, maybe, I don't know, somewhere in there, like a 32, or I don't think I'd look at a 40 cal. Obviously, I didn't know what I was looking at. I was trying to find something smaller that I thought I could handle, but not, I knew I didn't want 22. I wanted something, I shot enough rifles 22 as a kid that for my first handgun, I wasn't going to go 22, but, I thought about 25, and whenever I talk about 25s with people, I always tell me, you know what, you need something bigger than a 25. A 25 is just not going to, be good for self-defense, so you need to get something bigger. So I don't think 380 was around. Well, no, I know 380 was around, but it wasn't popularized. Otherwise, I probably would have been looking at 380s. I think I was looking at 32s, and the prices were just more than what I could go for. So let me know what you think. I'm done babbling. You guys are getting bored to death. I'm sure if you're even still here, probably lost you a long time ago. Probably off looking at some other gun site. But if you are still here, let me know, how did you get involved? What was it? Did you run into a confrontation, or did you see somebody else with a gun in passing, or did you just listen to people and they said, hey man, you really ought to have something for self-defense? How did you get involved? What made you get into the gun world? Or are you just watching this because you're considering getting your first gun? Let me know below and I will check it out. Thanks a lot for watching the how I got into guns video. Have a great day.